Again, welcome to the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Today, as I mentioned, is our deep dive workshop. Um, every other week of the month, we do our standard round robin where we get a chance to give our little pitch, say who we are. We always are about networking and helping each other grow personally and professionally. So, with that said, if you put your contact information in the chat, I encourage everyone to copy the chat at the end of this meeting and to free to reach out to our participants today to do one-on-one meetings.
Hey,
Out.
Paul, mute your mic, brother.
There you go. Thank you. Um, and so if everyone will put their contact information in chat, then you can feel free to copy the chat and reach out to each of the participants today, and make a connection. Do a one-on-one. That's really where a lot of the magic happens. This forum is just to meet people, and to set up relationships for you to continue to nurture those relationships on your own. So today we are happy and excited to bring to you Donnie Bovin, entrepreneur, CEO of Success Champion Networking, founder of Badass Business Summit, owner of Success Champion Magazine, and he is also co-host of podcast Growth Mode. So one thing that's great about Donnie is you can tell he's a true entrepreneur because sometimes you have to fail to succeed. And Donnie's done his fair share of failing. And today, what he plans to do is share some great tips and advice for us to help grow our business, advance our sales, and maybe share some of his learnings from his failures so that we can make less failure and have more success. The other fun thing to know about Donnie is that he also lives and works a full working farm. So he's a farmer too. So very well accomplished, incredible success story, and years of wisdom that he's prepared to share with us today. So Donnie, welcome, and please take the mic.
Brother, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I got to say, that was one of the most powerful songs I've heard sung that way, but one of the worst choruses for the Pledge of Allegiance ever. I think, and nobody was on the same page. I mean, that thing was all over the damn map, but well done, guys. And kudos and props for you guys for doing that and starting it off and reminding us all why the hell we did a lot of things we did. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. And then we'll dive in, guys. My goal is not to sit here and lecture you. My goal is to give advice, throw it as a Q&A, and ask me as many questions as you guys want to so we can help and support. But I'll tell you my story and how we got here. So I did 4 in the Corps, 20 years of straight commission sales. I've actually never had a salary position in my life. I turned 40 before I even knew that I could do this thing called be an entrepreneur. And start a business. I just grew up in this blue collar family, and dad was a truck driver, mom worked in factories, and you woke up, you got a job, you worked for other people, and that's just the way it was. And my last career was with an organization called Sandler Training. Anybody heard of Sandler? Right, couple of y'all. So supposedly I became one of the top sales trainers in the country. Not really sure what that means, other than I'm really good at flapping my gums in front of a room. So Sandler's a franchise setup, and in my franchise, I picked up partner, and really, buying out my business partner at that point was going to be my move. I was going to sail off in the sunset being a Sandler trainer, and that was going to be everything. But during a fateful dinner, my then business partner said something that forever changed my life. And what he said to me was, Donnie, thank God you're my retirement plan. Now, he said this out of love, guys. I truly mean it. And when he first said it, I looked right back at him and said, it's been my honor working for you. I fucking love it. Oh, you got to remember, I speak like I speak. I did not give you guys any forewarning. So if they slip out, please apologize. I just talk like I talk. JR's been around enough. Christine's been around enough. But so, I look back at him with love, man. And I was like, dude, I love working for you. But after that dinner, I went out and sat in my truck, and I looked myself in the rearview mirror. And I said, dude, what the hell are you doing? You were literally somebody else's damn retirement plan. And then I looked over my entire life from going into the Marine Corps, and every job I took, I was somebody else's retirement plan. I had never actually chose my own path. I had never actually decided what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I never looked at the world and said, this is what I want to do. And I gave myself an ultimatum. And I said, either I get okay with this life, and you got to understand, at this point in my life, my wife and I had built our dream farm. We'd built a second house on a property for my mother-in-law. By some standards, we were living a pretty good life. So I said, you either get good with this life and you turn off the dream because that dream's going to make you miserable, or you get in the damn game. 15 days later, I walked away from it all and launched my company, Success Champions. Within 24 hours, Sandler Corporate sent 2 corporate attorneys to my farm to serve me my non-compete papers. I tried to fight it, but my attorneys informed me it was going to cost me $500,000. And by the time we were done beating the non-compete, my non-compete would be up. I couldn't talk about the only thing I knew: sales, business development, sales management, sales training, anywhere in the damn world. I started my business as a success coach. And to this day, I have no damn clue what a success coach is. It's obviously some sort of business whore that just says yes a lot. So I threw a ton of money at trying to build a business. I took every course under the sun, talked to so many freaking gurus. And 6 months into running my business, I unfortunately stood on the back porch of my farm, looked my wife dead in the eyes, and said, babe, we're about to lose everything we own. Our mortgage was 3 months behind. Her Jeep had been repossessed. That Monday morning, she had to go cash in her 401k to literally save our farm and get her Jeep back. She looked at me in that moment and she said, Donnie, get off your ass and go sell something. And what I realized is, growing up, I never saw the CEOs of the companies I worked for. I had no idea what a business owner actually did. The only time I saw a CEO is if I brought in a multi-million-dollar contract or we were losing a multi-million-dollar client. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But as soon as my wife said that, I realized I was doing what I thought a CEO was supposed to do: behind the scenes, creating things, building things, not doing the thing that I'm actually good at, which is out front actually selling stuff. So I started selling. I still was struggling with what I actually sold, but I was selling. Found podcasting in May of 2018 and launched my first show. 5 months later, that show became number 22 in the world. And I was sitting next to the Tim Ferrisses, the Gary V's, the Tony Robbins, and the biggest names in the world. In September of 2018, my non-compete came up. I was now all this momentum from podcasting, and now I could fully unleash and talk about sales. Flash forward to where I am now, and I operate 3 companies, 2 of the top podcasts in the world, 5 best-selling books, and a partridge in a pear tree. My goal is not to brag, guys. My goal is just to show you that I've been through the shit show of building a business, and I've come out on the other end. I can promise you, building a business is the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. In comparison, boot camp was a joke. All the training, all the things we did, all the hardship, 20 years of straight commission sales was a joke in comparison to try and build a business, right? My goal today, guys, is to get sales so it's so simple that you actually enjoy the process, because people are so hung up and there's so many grease balls out there that are teaching the improper way to sell, especially in the day and times that we're in, that if you do half the things that they're teaching you out there, you're going to freaking lose. Okay. And if you guys stick around with me the whole thing, I have the Badass Business Summit coming up in September. I'm going to give away free tickets, but you need to stick around with me so I can give away free tickets. All right. That's going to be happening here in Fort Worth in September, 22nd through the 24th. So, but here's the deal. I don't like to talk at you, so I'm going to ask questions and you're willing to unmic and answer me, so I don't freaking just lecture you guys. Okay. So in chat or open mic, I don't care. Somebody tell me what sales is. What is it? Define it for me.
Finding the need. Finding the need.
I like that. I like that. What else?
Consultation.
A consultation. I like that. I like that.
To me, I feel like sales is like you can help the someone and what
Cool.
they
I
need.
like that, UN. I like that. I like that. Here's the thing. Y'all are, go ahead, Stuart, really quick.
It's the transfer of a product or a service from one person to another.
Cool. I like all these definitions, but guess what? You're all wrong. It's just fun for me to do that. Right? Sales is nothing more than a conversation. It just happens to have an outcome. Sales is nothing more than a conversation that happens to have an outcome. Here's the thing. Not a single person on the Zoom, maybe watching the live or anywhere in the world, actually has a sales problem. How many of you, by show of hands, know that if you sit across from the right person, the right time, and have the right conversation, usually good things happen, right? Everybody's good at that damn conversation. It's getting to that damn conversation that everybody sucks at. It's not a sales problem. It's a business development problem. Sales is that final conversation where you get to talk about, yes, we should do business, or no, we shouldn't. Everything else is business development. And once you wrap your head around that, y'all are all pretty freaking good at sales. You just suck at the business development side of things. Why? Because that's where the real work happens. Some of you haven't kicked off those boots since you were in the service and actually got your asses back to work, right? So that's what we're going to focus on. I'm going to teach you a new style of business development. Some of these things you've heard of before, right? Some of these things you've done before, but you're going to want to take a pen and paper and write this crap down, I promise you. Okay? There's 3 major business development activities you need to be doing at all times. They are warm conversations, cold outreach, and hand-raising activities. Warm conversations, cold outreach, and hand-raising activities. Somebody put those in chat for me too, for the people that are driving and stuff, so they can have those as notes later. Okay? Here's the thing. Warm conversations. Those are anywhere where you can get Zoom to Zoom, belly to belly, face to face with new people. So right now, we are having warm conversations. And if you ever come to an event like this and you're not like playing in the DMs or looking at people's stuff and connecting them and setting up what we call virtual coffees and meetings, you're dumb. Use this time to freaking network, build your damn business. There's people on here that probably need what you do. Don't jump on with somebody and try and sell them your shit. Nobody wants to buy your stuff. We all love buying things. We just don't want to be freaking sold to. So don't be a jackass and pitch people in the DMs. Strike up fun conversations, right? But warm conversations. You got to be out networking. You've got to be going to conferences, trade shows. You've got to be involved in your local area, communities. And you got to be plugged in so you can meet new people. Cold outreach is the things that everybody hates. That's the cold calling, the cold DMing, the cold emailing, the direct mail, or door-to-door stuff, right? That's the stuff people hate doing. By the way, except for this morning, every Friday morning at 8 a.m., I go live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook and make live cold calls. You can hear both sides of the conversations. And I do that for 2 reasons. 1, I'm never going to teach something that I'm not willing to do myself, right? And 2, I get to somewhat prospect because people are like, ooh, would you come do that for my sales team? And 3, I get to sell tickets for my damn summit. It's a freaking hell of a win for me. Okay. So if you struggle with cold calling, come watch me on Friday mornings, 8 o'clock. Okay. Then the last one, hand raising activities. That's where you put out information and people can go, ooh, I'd like to know more about that. So that's things like getting on stages, getting on podcasts, putting out social content, right? That's like blog writing or local PR, getting in the newspaper. All these things where people can learn about you, what you do, and go, I'd like to know more about this. This is a hand-raising activity for me. Speaking to a whole bunch of new people. And here's the thing. you've got to have at minimum one of each of these activities going at all times. There's no, I'm just going to network. If you only network, you're going to run your business straight in the ground, I promise. So you got to do the warm conversations, you got to do the cold outreach, and you got to have the hand raising activities. And here's how you figure out specifically the amount of activities you do. I want you all to imagine that right now in your businesses, you just hired a salesperson and you have guaranteed that salesperson that you're going to pay them $10,000 per month guaranteed. Now, I want you to ask yourself a tough question. If you hired a salesperson right now at $10,000 a month guaranteed, and that salesperson performed at the level that you're currently performing, would they still have a job? And a lot of you, the answer is going to be no, right? Because you're not doing the amount of work to justify the $400,000 to $600,000 in sales you need to pay somebody $120,000 a month. Okay. So if you were hiring this salesperson, I want you to think about in your business for just warm conversations. We'll get to the other two, but for warm conversations, what would that salesperson be required to do in your business? How much networking would that salesperson be required to do? How much, group stuff like this would they have to do? How many conferences or trade shows would they have to do? How many do you think it would be? A lot, right? How would you measure the effectiveness of those activities? It's not tracking sales, so don't go, well, they'd have to sell X amount of dollars. I'm looking specifically as what specific behaviors would they have to do? And how would you track that those behaviors are successful? What key performance indicator or KPI would be the number one thing you would measure? Put it in chat for me really quick. What would be the number one thing that you would measure? And it's really just one simple thing you need to be looking at. Contacts, I like that, Alex. Conversions is an indicator for sure. Meaningful conversations. Chris, that's going to be probably the closest one anybody's going to get to the one I want. Lifetime cost per clients, always be closing. Take that always be closing stuff, Robert, and throw that shit in the trash, man. You do. Look, I'm just going to harp on this one for a second, right? Because it's a soapbox for me. If you try and close a sale, you're going to lose. I promise you, in this day and age, if you try and close the sale, you're going to lose. There is no closing anymore. There is closure. And closure means you get to a yes or no or a next step in every conversation, and you have to be okay with all of those. Okay? Do not close a sale, because if you hard close in this day and age, you may win that transaction, but you're going to lose over the long haul with the lifetime value of that client because it's only a transaction at that point. Okay. This is about a relationship world we're in. But the number one thing I want you to track for that salesperson you're paying $10,000 a month is number of conversations with people who can say yes. Or to simplify, conversations with decision makers. Okay. Now, all the other things you guys put on there are great things that are the result of being able to get into those conversations. Because remember, we're all good at the conversation. We just suck getting there. And if they're out networking and doing the things, we should set a goal for them on how many conversations with decision makers they should be getting into on a weekly basis. So for you, and I won't tell you the number, but for you looking at that salesperson, how many conversations with a decision maker would that salesperson need to get into just from warm conversations every week? Okay. There's a lot of math that could go into that, right? But at the end of the day, you need to set a specific number. And for a lot of you, 5 to 10 good conversations a week would probably be a great number. Like if they were out networking and they got into 5 to 10 solid conversations with people that could say yes or no to them, that would be a good place to start. A lot of things happen when you do those kind of things. If they're not getting those 5 to 10 conversations, now you can go, okay, tell me about the networking. Where are you spending your time? You know, how are you asking to get a virtual coffee? How are you sitting down to talk with these people? And you get a chance to coach. If they're having a lot of conversations, but they're not getting anywhere, now you got a chance to coach. What are you saying in these meetings? How are you talking to them? What's the conversation, right? All of this gives you ammunition to help them get better. Okay, so now for warm conversations, we're looking at 5 to 10, all right, meetings with decision makers a week. Let's call it 10 just for easy math so I can remember, okay? Now, cold outreach. Cold outreach is the shit everybody hates, but you got to do it, right? You've got to reach out to people who have never heard of you, say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and get them to the point of them going, hell yes, let's do business. So that's cold calling, cold emailing, direct mail, door to door, right? It's anything that you do, or cold DMing on like LinkedIn. What activities would that salesperson be required to do in your business? And how many conversations with decision makers should result from that activity? If they're getting 10 from warm conversations, they better be getting at least 5 from cold outreach. And now we're looking at 15 conversations a week with decision makers. You with me? So that's a lot of generic conversations to identify so far if somebody is a decision maker, and then getting a time to sit down and actually have that decision maker conversations. We're not done yet, because now we got to do hand raising activities, right? This is getting on stages, posting on social media, putting out warm emails. This is, getting on podcasts, putting out information, blog writing, anywhere that people can see who you are, what you do, and can raise their hand and say, I want to know more. How many conversations with decision makers should they get into on a weekly basis from warm conversations? And I'm going to tell you, it better be a minimum of 10. Okay. So if my math's right, and I'm a Marine, so math for Marines was not a thing in my world, right? You got 10 from warm conversations, 5 from cold outreach, 10 from hand raising activities. That means every week they need to be getting into 25 conversations with decision makers, people who can say yes or no to them. Sound like a lot? It really isn't. That's their job, is to sell. We're not paying them to just go out and meet people. We're paying them to go get those conversations and then get the deals done. Now, here's the thing. We designed this for a salesperson to come work in your business, right? What I want most of you to do, because you're half-assing building your business, is take everything you just wrote down and apply it to your own ass. And here's why. Some of you had the thought is that, man, if I had a salesperson doing this for me, my business would be crushing. My business would be rock star. I would be 10xing what I'm doing, and I'd be dominating the world. You're right. But if you're not willing to put in the work at this level in your business, and I know I'm fixing to hear it, But Donnie, I got all the things I got to do in my business. I got operations, I got accounting, I got all the other. Piss off. This is what it takes to be successful in business. This is what you got to do. You take everything you wrote down, and that just became your key performance indicators. That's how you measure how successful you are at all the activities. But wait, there's more. Let's see if we can really razzle you up. On your sheet of paper, I want you to write down or draw a line straight down the center and then do a little like a cross, right? So you have two columns with a section down bottom and a section up top, okay? On the left side, for that left side for y'all, it's backwards, I'm sure, right? On the left side, I want you to write down, thank you for that. There's some Army guys in here, so I'll speak really slow. I mean, you know, as Marines, we're drawing in crayons, but on the left side, I want you to write the word revenue. On the right side, I want you to write non-revenue. Okay? Every activity we just wrote down falls in the revenue column. Everything else in your business, everything else in your business, everything else in your business falls in the non-revenue category. Because if we are not getting those conversations, we don't get to do all the other stuff. That other stuff does not lead to the conversations. You with me? Here's the thing. We all have a unique window in our business. That unique window is the exact times when you can get into conversations with people who can say yes or no to you. Well, on your sheet of paper, I want you to write down what hours of the day can you actually get into conversations with people who say yes or no to you? And a lot of you, it's going to be like 7 to 5, 8 to 5, 9 to 6, right? Very few of us have the 24/7. I do business all over the world, so I couldn't really go 24/7, but I am not that damn crazy. Okay. Well, it's not always whenever, but there is a distinct window, especially if you're looking at your big investors, JR, for your nonprofit. There's going to be unique windows where they really want to talk shop. Okay. Okay. Here's where you're going to hate me. That time frame you wrote down is the times you do the revenue producing activities and nothing else. If you do the non-revenue activities during your revenue production time, you're gonna lose. And the reason you're gonna lose is because you'll slough them off, because sales is the first thing you throw in the trash. You'll start the day off and you're like, you know what, today I'm going to crush it. I'm going to do all my business development activities. I'm going to get active on LinkedIn. I'm going to do cold calls. And then you sit down at your desk, email, phone rings, right? Messenger pops up, text message. And next thing you know, you find yourself looking up 2 hours after sitting on the John watching TikTok videos, and you haven't started your business development activities. Y'all know you're like me and your legs fall asleep sitting on that damn toilet because you just realize 45 minutes later, you're still watching TikTok, right? But you've got to be this tenaciously disciplined in your business development activities. And I know some of you are looking at me now. They're like, okay, I get it, Donnie. I do business development 8 to 5. Then I'm supposed to do all this other stuff when I'm supposed to be spending time with my family and kids. I didn't start a business, do all this thing, so I couldn't spend time with my family and kids. I did this so I could get freedom. I'm not trying to work this damn hard. Cool. Go back and get a job. The only time you get to work a steady 40-hour week is when you're employed by somebody else. If you want to build to business freedom, that true desire to go out and build the life you actually wanted to build, you have to work at this level. This isn't some hustle and grind bullshit. This is truth. And if you want to spend family time, schedule it. Because if you don't work at this freaking level, you're not going to get the family time. But you can't get to business freedom where a business actually functions because of you, not because you're doing it. Then you got to work at this level. Your business development game has to be the top priority in your business. And this is not a bragging move. I'm up at 4:20 every morning. That's my only hours of the day that I can get time to myself. I go walk the farm with the dogs. And I'll spend an hour listening to podcasts and walking my dogs. I get my exercise because I can do 3-4 miles in that time. I get my knowledge by listening to podcasts. Because as soon as I'm done with that, it's go time. Because I'm disciplined enough to know I've got to get my social media posted so I can stay off of it most of the rest of the day. And then it's business development activities. And y'all are going to think I'm crazy. But I sit here from 7 to 6 o'clock in the evening in back-to-back Zoom conversations. Sometimes those are my networking group meetings. Sometimes those are client conversations. Sometimes those are prospect meetings. We have to schedule in specific operational hours to get me to stop business development stuff. I got too big of a mission and goal to not work this disciplined. And look, when that whistle blows at 6 o'clock, I will spend the next hour cranking on operational stuff because my wife will be home in an hour 15 minutes from that point. That's my window to dominate on operations. So I've gotten really good at getting the operational stuff done quickly and not fiddle freaking around with it. Right? Wife gets home, we sit down, I cook a quick dinner, we spend some time together. And then a lot of times I'm sneaking back up here to get some more work done if I need to, or we'll go to bed. I'm in bed by 10 o'clock and then back up at 4, 7 days a week. And I'm talking Saturdays and Sundays. I'm typically still doing a lot of business development activities. It's not as strenuous, I promise you, as my Monday through Friday. But I'm still reaching out. I'm still having conversations. Your calendars should be so color-coded with your different activities that you can look at your calendar and know if you've done enough business development activities to fill your calendar with enough of the right conversations. Does this make sense? Anybody want to throw anything at me? Some of you I know are looking at me like I got two heads. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, but I do want to leave some room for Q&A. I do want to let you guys come at me. It's fine. Play stump the chump. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to browbeat you over the head. I just want you to understand sales is really supposed to be fun. I love having all these virtual coffees and getting to know people. I love pouring into people and I love spending time with people. Let's go with it. Lloyd, what you got, brother?
So with all these conversations, and I have to believe all business is conversation, but with all these conversations you're having, how do you manage all these obviously contacts that you're reaching out to you? What sort of system are you using?
So people always think I'm crazy when I say this. Everything is one conversation for me. I suck at follow-up, but I've perfected that conversation as such that my get to know you is a sales call. You're never going to feel like you're in a sales call. But I promise by the time I get to the end of that, I've already decided if you would fit in any of my services. And if I played my cards right, you've already asked me, how should we work together? Right? I sell air. I sell a service. 3 of them, actually. Okay. I don't sell a product. So I'm able to get in a conversation with people. And look, I don't have to explain over the top in detail what I sell. My job is to go in and dive into their world so deep that I know what they're looking for. I know what they need. I know what they're trying to accomplish. But some of you are spending so much time trying to convince them that you got the greatest thing since sliced bread that all you're doing is verbally beating the shit out of them. When I have a virtual coffee or a meeting with somebody, that story I told at the beginning, that's all I talk about me. Period. Because what I do does not matter. Because I'm going to spend most of that call working on them. Whatever you sell, pour into them. We're working on a book right now called Informative Selling. And we're working on some new style of selling, that way we sell. And basis of it is, we should be teaching them everything. There is no secrets in this world, man. Everything we do, everything I taught today is on YouTube. I've just figured out how to package it up and talk like I talk and deliver it how I deliver it. Right? What you got, Irvin?
So, Donnie, I wanted to add to your answer to Lloyd, right? Or help answer Lloyd's question relating to some of the things you shared. So, Lloyd, one of the things that I've done that I think is helpful when you have a warm conversation, not everyone's going to, necessarily bite right away, right? I mean, that's the dream, is that everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is fantastic. Thanks, Lloyd. Hey, here's my information. Here's my credit card. Boom, let's go, right? That's the holy grail. Raising hand activity. So what I do is I put them in a loop. So I have a monthly newsletter. And and you might want to work with someone like a Christine to activate it if you don't have the expertise, but it's not that hard to do. But you get like a constant contact, and every contact you get, you throw into that bucket. Because what I do, is a long-term proposition, is a serious consideration, right? Do I want to start a business? And everyone I talk to has at least talked to me because there might have been that little spark, but it may not be a big spark. You put them in that newsletter, and I can tell you that like 3 months from now, someone I talked to before thought about it again. And if each month I can give them value, right? Again, that's that hand raising activity, a little bit of a tease. So each month I send out a concept of the month, and it might be about a pet grooming business, or it might be a oil change business or whatever. And that just might spark and say, oh yeah, I always wanted to do that. If you can think about what you do and each month come up with just one fact, one tease, put them in that drip, because you already made a contact, they know you, and just, keep yourself top of mind until that time is ready, Anyway, I don't know.
Let me put a little another different concept in there. I like that, Irvin, but let me put a little bit different concept in there.
Okay.
I do not ever try and qualify anybody. If you try and qualify somebody, you're going to try and sell them your crap. Okay? I try and disqualify everybody. And the reason I try and disqualify everybody is because I know what I need to decide if I want to work with them. It is more important for me to decide if I want to work with them than me selling my crap. Like, if I don't want to go grab a freaking cocktail with them, I don't want to do business with them. Anybody ever had a client you freaking knew you shouldn't have brought on in the first place and you still brought them on and they became your biggest freaking nightmare? Yeah, that shit's your fault. You shouldn't have freaking offered them the deal in the first place. But if you know everything that is required that you need for somebody to say yes to you, and you spend that virtual coffee, that first conversation, working on trying to disqualify that individual, like, you need to know things. Do they have enough money to come actually do business with you? Will they invest the time and energy that they need to get it done? Right? Would you have a cocktail with them? Will they do the work? If you know these things, you don't need to get deep into your products and services. You can spend your time disqualifying them. The best salespeople in the world are geniuses at asking the right questions. And the next thing everybody asks is, what's the right questions? I don't know your business. You know your business. The right questions are the best questions for you and your business. But if you spend your entire time sitting across from that some person, genuinely invested in their success and invested in their life, and you were truly trying to make them win, then you do them a justice by actually disqualifying them from your offer. And here's the truth. Some people, when you actually try to disqualify them, are like, fuck you, I'm doing this. Don't tell me I'm not a fit. Watch me go. Right? Those people I want to really work with because they're freaking hungry. But now they're going to convince me that they're going to do the work. They're going to convince me that they're going to put in the time. I'm not going to babysit somebody to success. That's on them. I'm going to lay it out in such a way that they got to come fight for it. Does that help a little bit better, Lloyd?
You know, I love that. So I have a question. I mean, when you say disqualify, I mean, like, I've actually at sometimes told people, say, hey, maybe business ownership's just not right for you, you know?
Sure.
And I mean, is that what you're talking about? Just kind of
100%.
putting it right out there and say, hey, maybe it's
100%.
right for you, and then have them kind of defend themselves that way?
Well, it's not so much about getting them to defend themselves. The right people will.
We're selling you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of understanding, are they truly a fit? See, the problem is, because people don't do the business development stuff, every conversation matters. Every conversation's an act of desperation. So the idea of that they wouldn't sell something to this person scares the pure living crap out of them. Right?
Yeah, people don't understand that no is just as good an answer as yes.
For sure. It really is. But most people say that, they just don't believe it. They get commission breath. That's one of my favorite sayings. I love that. I only heard that a couple of years ago, Chris, but I freaking love that. You know, but if you have the world's biggest pipeline filled with amazing people that you would love to do business with, that are a good fit, I promise you the conversation you're in right now does not matter. You don't have a sales problem. You have a business development problem. Go get the amazing freaking properties or conversations, right? Go get it. That's what you're paying yourself to freaking do, is to go get those conversations. Feel free to ask questions. I don't want to just keep rambling. I mean, I will, because I like the sound of my own voice.
Donnie,
ahead,
I have a quick question.
Come on, brother.
How do you decide when is the right time to outsource some of those business development activities, whether it's building that pipeline or bringing on new sales people?
Beautiful question. Marketing you can do quickly. So some of your social activity and those type of things, some of the hand raising activities you can do really, really quickly in your business. The getting on stages and podcasts and all that needs to be you. Like, I don't give a damn what business you're in. You should be hosting workshops, because workshops is one of the most amazing things. Thanks, Ryan. Good to see you, brother. One of the most amazing things you can do to get people to raise their hands and say, I'm interested in more. To hire business development staff and salespeople, once you have a proven system that shows them exactly how they can get to their first $100,000. And the only way you know it's a proven system is you've done it yourself. But if you do not have that proven system that shows them exactly how to get to $100,000 of personal income, not revenue, personal income, and whatever you sell, you're not ready to bring on a salesperson, because all you're going to do is set that person up for failure. And you're going to get frustrated, because what happens every time is they're like, oh, you know what? I suck at sales, so let me go get a salesperson. Then that salesperson goes out and they're not producing, and they're going to look at them and go, what the fuck? I hired you to do sales, go sell. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And you can't coach them. All you can do is throw theories at them. Well, you should go network, or you should maybe go cold call, right? But you're not actually telling them how to be successful. Does that make sense, Chris? So get to that place where you can teach them how to make $100,000 selling what you sell in personal income. Any other questions? How many of you got one, Patrick? Come on.
I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but what was the name of your podcast?
Growth Mode. If you look it up on wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll see me holding a glass of rum on the cover.
So Donnie, I'm in the direct sales, multi-level marketing industry.
I'm so sorry, but go ahead.
Well, I hear you. So my question to you is, your networking groups don't allow multi-level marketing?
Absolutely not.
Behind that? I mean, because everything you're saying to me is totally applicable in what I do, I think. I believe that. So I just want to understand where you're coming
absolutely. From. I love answering the questions, because at the end of the day, multi-level marketing, to work and be successful, has to sell the people they're networking with. Okay? I don't give a dang what it is. They have to sell the people. In my networking groups, the people we network with are not your damn prospects.
I totally agree with that.
Right? And there is some amazing, wonderful, badass people that do multi-level marketing. But ultimately for that business model to work, you've got to sell people into a downline. And the only way to sell people into downlines, you got to sell everybody you meet. I don't give a damn what people say. I know I'm not that person. I'm not doing downlines. I'm not doing that. For that business model to be successful. Okay. Nobody comes into our chapters who wants to sell to the members of our chapters. They're not your prospect list. Lloyd, I'm not aiming this at you directly, just answering it in general.
I agree with you on that fact.
Right?
That's my view as well.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. It's not a universally held view.
Always a few bad apples out there.
Absolutely. And so if I let one in, I got to let the rest in. You in? What's your question, brother?
Yeah, so Donna, but because actually I running the real estate company and the construction company, so does your project and to help the construction company and the real estate company doing some more like a business?
It would help find introductions. So in my world, I don't give a shit about referrals. And let me explain. Referrals lead to a one-time transaction most times. And most people you talk to aren't going to run into the exact person you need to meet for your business. Like if I look at somebody like Irving, right? Very rarely is somebody going to say, hey, I'd love to start a franchise. However, there's likely several industries like business coaches or HR consultants, people who are having phenomenal conversations with people that might hear that people are contemplating looking for a career change, looking to do something different. If I can get Irving to that exact right person whose Rolodex is filled with people that might have this information, that one introduction could lead to thousands of referrals and other things. I don't give a shit to give you a referral ever. It may happen. I may luck out 100%, Christine. But we are focused on let's get you introduced to the people that might be able to open doors.
Okay, introduce the people to open door. Okay, I got you. Understand. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Donnie.
Yep.
Donnie. So have you ever put together like an organizational chart of which companies or which synergy partners work best with someone to like put it on a plan and then attack it that way?
We haven't put it like an organizational chart. What we do is we teach what's called the triangle. And so I'll give this to you guys really, really quick. So the triangle is that, hold on, I'm trying to copy messages. That triangle is, you're probably at the top of that triangle. There's two other main industries that are great feeders for your business, and you're a feeder for them. Your goal in everything you do is to always fill that triangle. So in meetings like this, you're looking to complete that triangle. Networking groups, you're looking to complete that triangle. Everywhere you go, you're trying to complete that triangle. And if you focus on that triangle, you'll never become a douche canoe because you're never trying to sell anybody. You're literally just trying to meet those other two people.
So it's like you're connecting people, right? Am I understanding that right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're giving and you're receiving. It's like a reciprocative
100%.
thing. Gotcha.
100%.
Okay. Thank you.
Like, so think about, if, and Crystal, you got a lot of feedback coming off that, babe.
Okay.
If you could get to those other two people, not only could they make a bunch of referrals and things for you, but you could make a whole bunch of referrals and introductions for them. Right? So for me, I really don't give a shit what you sell. I need to know who's that badass introduction. Like if I can get you to this person, y'all have an amazing synergy. And we built our entire networking organization on this idea. Quit focusing on referrals, because referrals means you're trying to sell everybody you talk to. Right? Get to the damn introductions.
I can tell you for a fact, guys, I've had plenty of one-on-ones with Donnie. Our very first one-on-one, this man introduced me to 5 people. He's like, yeah, I got this guy. 20 minutes into it. Oh shit, I forgot about this guy. I mean, he's speaking from the heart when he says this stuff. He truly does what he says he's doing here. And you need to get in touch, deeper with him after this.
Absolutely. Thanks, JR. I appreciate you, brother. And if you guys haven't checked out the Veterans Ranch, just throw a plug back to him. It's good shit. And he needs more horse ranches around the U.S. If you guys know any freaking people who own horse ranches, I just introduced him to a gal who's got a couple down in South Texas, which I'm stoked about. But if you guys know anybody who has horse ranches, JR's your guy. He needs to meet him. Any other questions?
How can we contact you?
I put my LinkedIn profile in there. Fastest way to get me. Connect with me on LinkedIn, mention this group for sure, or this meeting. But that's the fastest way to get to me. Okay. I can probably drop it again just so it's closer by. But here's what I want to do. If September 22nd through the 24th, you could guarantee that you could show up to the Badass Business Summit for all 3 days, I want you to put a 3 in chat now. So put a 3 in chat if you can show up for all 3 days. I am going to open up my phone somewhere, and I've got a random freaking name picker. September 22nd through the 24th. If you can show up for all 3 days, put a 3 in chat. And to do this fair, I'm just pulling up my name picker on here, and I'm typing names quickly. So the event at the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Fort Worth. Tickets are $197 to attend all 3 days, but I'm going to give away a couple today. But you guarantee that you can be there all 3 days. Put a 3 in chat. That's all. If there's 7 of you, I'll give away 3 tickets. Anybody else want to put a 3 in chat can guarantee they can be there. I did, Christy. All right, cool. Sure, I got all the names. Boom. First one, Christy Remmel. You're up, babe. I got you a ticket. I'll send you a DM to get you a code to get a ticket. Second one, Lee Scott.
Hoorah!
Third one, Brian Baker, whoever Brian Baker is. So if you'll send me a DM, I will give you a code that will get you your ticket. You just got to go to badassbusinesssummit.com, and that'll get you a free ticket for all 3 days.
You know how hard it is to type 3 when you're driving, Donnie?
I don't even like you. Hold on. Try and get these guys real quick. And feel free to, I'll stick around till 9, guys. If you want to ask more questions, feel free.
Donnie, I'm going to give you a chance to make a pitch for yourself. I'd like to learn more about your Badass Summit. Can you tell me who's going to be speaking, what the objective is? Just give me the 101 on that. And then if there's speaking opportunities, how might we speak to you about that?
So we'll address the speaking one first. To be a speaker on my stage, you got to be a part of the family. And what I mean by part of the family is you got to be a member of my networking groups. Every one of my speakers is a member of one of my chapters around the world. We have 55 networking groups across the US, 3 in Canada, and we're opening up 6 countries as we speak. And we have the fastest growing networking organization on the planet because we fix what everybody hates about networking. Okay. So if you want to check out one of the networking groups, I've got 2 in Fort Worth and I have one in Dallas, and they're all actively growing. No multi-level marketing, no network marketing or direct sales are allowed in our chapters. Okay. No offense intended. We just want people that understand our rooms are not your prospect list. Okay. So
now, one thing cool about Donnie's groups, and I joined a meeting with this Wednesday in DFW, is that you can also guest visit every group in the network.
Yep.
So really a great way to extend your reach, throughout the country, and really extend your reach for just one membership. So that's pretty cool.
So if you would like to attend one of our groups, there's the main website. Hold on. I'll get you a direct link to visit a chapter. The quickest chapter to get to meets Wednesday mornings is our actual Dallas chapter. So it's called the Call-in Coalition. So if you get to the form, fill it out and look for Call-in Coalition, you'll get an automatic invite. When you fill that out, check your spam filters. Okay. So a lot of times our emails end up in there just because we don't have the big enough list yet to get it, whitelisted everywhere. So thank you, Christine. So go check out the Call-in Coalition. If you don't get that Zoom link in your email, make sure we connect on LinkedIn and ping me, and I'll make sure you get the Zoom link to go visit. Okay. My brother actually helps run that group, so it's a lot of fun. You'll get to meet him. So, but the Badass Business Summit, we have 17 speakers coming in for 3 days. The speakers are legitimately some of the top speakers in the world. You have everybody from Eric Rogel, who's traveled the world as a professional film guy. He's run some amazing companies. He now runs an all men's, just freaking massive retreats and the likes. He's a beast. You have one of the top HR consultants in the world with Melanie Boer coming in from Cincinnati. And she's going to be teaching all about building cultures in your business. You got Ryan Kasner coming in out of Cincinnati, Ohio, one of the top sales trainers in the country, to teach specifically how to build your overall sales process. You have Laura DeFranco coming in, 41-time best-selling author, to teach how to use books to grow your business. That's a full-on workshop. So that you can get decide if you want to write a book, you're not going to want to miss that workshop. I actually co-wrote 2 books with her of my 5 bestsellers. If you guys want to go get a best-selling book, Fucked to Focused is my latest book out, and I'll make you a deal. If anybody goes and buys 10 of these books, which will cost you $40, send me a receipt on LinkedIn to my private message, I will drop my personal calendar link and give you an hour of my time to help work on your business. Okay. All you got to do is go buy 10 of these books. It's on Amazon. $3.99 is all these cost. Go buy 10 of them. Show me the receipt and I'll give you an hour of my time. Okay. Just send me that message, that receipt on LinkedIn. Okay. Additional speakers are Kevin Snow, who's the COO of our company. The dude is a sales automation genius, and he's going to teach how you actually put together your entire email sequence. The entire summit is designed that you're actually working on the stuff while you're there. It's not take a whole bunch of notes, then go home and try and figure out what the hell you wrote. You're working on your business while you're there. So it's either absolute already up and running, or as soon as you get home, you can hit a button and it's go. Okay. We designed it that entire way. So it's not fiddle fucking around, just going and drinking, have a good time. We're working on your business. Okay. Other speakers include, holy cow, my mind went blank. I got too many things going in my head. Too many messages. Hold on. I can't type fast enough. Pablo Gonzalez is coming in. Pablo is going to MC the event. This guy is off the chain, one of the greatest community builders in the world. So Pablo has built these multi-million-dollar communities, and he's going to talk about how building communities completely will transform the dynamics of your company. Hannah Chapman's coming in to talk about how to actually produce wealth beyond your company. So it's not only just increasing revenue in your business, it's increasing your personal mindset about revenue, because most of us hit up against some of our own imaginary freaking ceilings that we smack ourselves up against. So that's going to be phenomenal. Steve Wallace is coming in and going to talk more about sales. They have this sales automation tool called Maverick app, which is just insane. And he's going to come in and talk about your mindset and how you actually do better sales conversations. You got, anybody here locally ever heard of Stevie Dawn Carter? Stevie Dawn is a fucking beast. She does 20 to 100 on-stage speaking events a year and is paid between $10,000 and $50,000 every time she steps on stage. She's honestly one of the best people I've ever seen on stage. She's an absolute beast. She'll be there speaking. Lauren Ammon's going to be there. She's a former D1 athlete, one of the top swimmers in the world once upon a time. And she's going to talk specifically about battling the invisible opponent and how we self-sabotage and get our own head trash and get in our own ways. She's an absolute beast. So just a hell of a lineup of a great group of speakers. So, but it's really, the whole premise is building towards business freedom. So, you are going to run and gun for 3 days and none of my speakers fly in and fly out. They're participants as well. So you'll be able to sit right next to the speakers and have conversations, right? So it's not like they're just showing up and then taking the hell off, they'll be right there learning right side by side with you. We've got mastermind sessions set up to where we'll be focused on helping you and your business. We're going to do a live episode of the Growth Mode podcast where Kevin and I will get up on stage. And we did this last year at the summit, and it was freaking awesome. Taking live Q&A that'll go out and be listened to by hundreds of thousands of people around the world. So we go all out with these. The funniest thing is every night usually breaks into a hellacious karaoke party. So we have one of the top DJs in Fort Worth with Gene Willman, who's a jarhead. And last year, all the people were talking about going to a karaoke bar. And Gene's like, well, why don't we do it here? And next thing you know, the whole conference center turns into this huge ass. And these people can actually freaking sing. It was the funniest thing ever. So plan to come, stay at the hotel. And because you're going to want to be fully invested in the 3 days. It's going to be a hell of a time. So thank you for allowing me to do that, Irving.
So, Donnie, when's your next one? I'm out of the country those days.
So we'll do it every year in September. We are looking at the stockyards next year if we can justify the budgets, just because we got so many people that come in from out of town. You know, you got to take them to the Fort Worth stockyards if you're going to do something. So we're looking at that. If we can get the cost to fit right, that's what we'll be next year. September, maybe. We don't have the dates yet, Lloyd. We're working on that right now. Because one of the things we want to do is announce at the summit this is when the next summit is. So we're in the midst of trying to put that together right now. And at the summit, we are launching a new phenomenal program that's free. That I'm seriously stoked about it. I really truly think that it's going to change the damn world, but it's a free program. Everybody in the world will be able to attend. And it's purposely focused on helping you grow as an individual. And dude, I'm stoked about rolling that out. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Donnie, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come in and pour into our chamber. This information that you shared today was absolutely invaluable. You can see all the comments in chat and all the questions. You really got us fired up, and I love that. This is like, I consider this the warm up. We're really getting us going right now because we've got you today. On Tuesday, we've got our fundraiser. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, that's going to be a 4-hour seminar. And then after that, followed up with Donnie's Badass Business Summit. I mean, you're talking about a great trifecta right there. So get that going. Your business is going to just be wired and ready to roll. So we've got the information going out. Donnie's information, his contact information was also in the newsletter. So make sure you get back to that. Connect with him on LinkedIn. Donnie, thank you so much for spending your time with us. We appreciate it.
You're very
And
welcome.
with that, we know it's 8:43 and we're over time, but he's going to hang out for a little while with us. So if you guys want to hang out, continue talking to him. We love that. This is also the end of the month for us. So just a reminder, we're going to be starting up our beginning of the month activities. We have so much going on, right? There's all of our in-person networking, but don't miss that opportunity on Tuesday to get together with us in person for our chamber fundraiser. And it's about entrepreneurship. That's what we're all about. We want to see you succeed, which is why we bring in fantastic speakers like Donnie, which is why we organize events like our fundraiser on Tuesday, which is going to be all about entrepreneurship, getting things going, getting in your business, and bringing in some dynamite speakers. That's going to be Roger Hamilton on Tuesday. They've got a different perspective. He's coming from Europe, and it's great. The more perspectives you can get, you can find out what works for you. So definitely you want to be there. It's only $27. Who do you know that is an entrepreneur or small business owner that needs to find out about what we're up to? Reach out to them, share. Okay, tag them. We've got lots of posts out there. Go invite them personally, send them a message and say, hey, you want to hang out with us? Invite them to do Tuesday's fundraiser with us. It's only $27. You can't beat that price for a 4-hour webinar. It can be in person or online. And if you can't actually attend, if you sign up and pay for it, you will get a link that will send you the video so you can watch it anytime. Okay.
So you get, Christine, you get a choice when you register, whether you want to attend live or virtual, but we do prefer that you attend live, right? But if you want to get the recording, just sign up virtual and you will get the recording after.
But if you're in person, we've got somebody running the grill. Alex is, they're donating lunch for us. So That's going to be pretty awesome. So we're really looking forward to everybody coming out and making it a nice event there. So all sorts of fun things going on. So we're going to say goodbye to Facebook. Everybody wave goodbye. And we're going to stick around for a few more minutes. And Donnie was generous enough. We got another 15 minutes with him, he said.